Welcome back to the Todd Deere Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the FansHobby VE-03 ATAC ATAC, the all-terrain attack carrier. Now this is an upscaled and modernized version, very enhanced version of their take on an AWE striker. Just to be honest, one of my favorite vehicles from the vintage era, now brought into the 1/12 scale, and it looks pretty good. They've got electronics in it. There are a lot of things with it. There's some pluses and minuses, but I'll get into all of that. Now, I did get this to Showsy Store. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours. Remember, TH, support your favorite reviewer in that box there on the main page or any page that box exists. We'll link it. But let's look at this and let's go into all of this. Obviously, it fits Super 7 Ultimates. And that was my first question. Let's talk about this coming up. Here's the box and the packaging. The packaging's kind of weird, but it does come with the foam, and it's in there tight. Like, it's foam feels like it's a little too tight, to tell you the truth. But anyway, here it is. All these features, most of which will be featured in the lightning round. Fun stuff that we can look forward to. But you've got options, and it's a $130 vehicle, but they put a lot of detail in it. That it's nice they put the detail. I'm not sure I really needed that much, but it is nice they put it in there. All right, here it is. If you want a retro-inspired version of an AWE striker and not too heavily modernized, this is it. Like, I believe just from the pictures, because I don't have my Hasbro Pulse one yet. I did not go to whatever event. What was it? Was it SDCC that people got theirs? But there it is. It is super retro classic. I mean, right out the box. You don't have to put all the other stuff on it to make it look like whatever extra stuff they put on it. And of course, they do include all that, and they show it in the promos so that they do what third-party companies do, and they make something. I mean, Dune Buggy, is a Dune Buggy like licensed? You have to have a license to make a Dune Buggy? But man, it is really cool with the electronics and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll get into looking at all this stuff. But before we do anything else, we have to do the lightning round. Features include coordinated steering wheel. The steering wheel moves, and so do the front wheels. Realistic suspension. When this Dune Buggy's a rockin', don't come a knockin'. Real headlights. Real taillights with left and right blinkers and hazards. Adjustable rear mirror, and it's an actual mirror. Extremely detailed engine with a removable engine cover. Actual drivetrain mechanisms. Adjustable antennae. 2 cannon thingies, and future places for future guns it doesn't come with. A third seat with an extra roll cage that almost nobody's going to use. Notice I said almost. Realistic instrument panel, gear shifter, and emergency brake, if you can see it. Dogs and cats living together, classified and ultimates in the same vehicle. There is a Recondo in there, so this will show you a feature. Now, in order to make it look like it fits him a little more, you can slide the seat up. So he's got like a booster chair there to get him a little bit closer, because he is smaller than an Ultimates figure, so you can fit both. And I think they engineered that on purpose. They specifically made it to where you can make it. I think it looks fine back too, and him just kind of leaning a little bit further back. And I just left his weapons in his hands because he's going to go right back on the shelf the way I had him. But still, you can fit both. That's an important part, and all these wonderful features. While we're here, we can look at a closer look. Oh my god, can I get the lights on it just right? At the instrument panel, they are tiny paints, tiny amounts of paint, lots of paint on tiny space for that. Moving this steering wheel moves the wheels, front wheels, so real cool stuff. And then I guess with everything in there, I mean, I guess we saw what we needed on the lightning round for the brake and the gear shifter, but it's working. Like, it moves, it doesn't actually shift gears or lock the brakes up. Let's play with the lights a little bit. My finger is right back here pushing on the button right next to the battery compartment. You have the lights that are just standard. Then you have hazards, both front and back, front and rear. Then you have lights with a turn signal. I'm not sure why they went through that much trouble, but they did go through the trouble to make this, the wheels and the steering wheel turn. I kind of feel like those are similar thought processes. Then you got the other turn signal and off, which is fine. Also, there's this here, which is kind of like, I think it's like a, is it a motor launcher? Is that what that is? I mean, that's what I think it is, but I guess I should look up what exactly it is. I also should look up where all these stickers go. I'm not a fan of putting decals on. It's really tough for me to put these decals on. It's tough and rough. There's instructions. And we got some exhaust over here, which works. And I'm messing up the antennae. You can have the antennae go however you want. And then we get back here to the engine. Like, you can actually see the is it a serpentine belt? It's got a belt on there. Some hoses and some paint. And so really, really impressive what they got going on with all that. Very impressive. Here's the thing, though. And I'm just going to say this. I like it. If they made it a little bit more simplified and made it 80, would that have been better? Or is it putting all of this effort and all of this detail to make it a $130 product? Is that better? I mean, they're targeting a collector market, not a kid toy market. So, I mean, and there's a lot too. So is this more detailed than what Hasbro did? Because I'm thinking yes. And then it's really hard for me to get that shot that I got earlier. But let's see if I can do it on the side where you see the gears moving in there. It's a lot. They did a lot. That's where the seats actually slide. That's connected to the seats. Hip bone's connected to the leg bone. And then we have these up here. If I don't force some jump cuts, it just turns into a long string of video. So I plugged in a gun. It's made just to stick your guns in there, like whatever is what I guess it's used for. So it's a thing I would rather have something more like this. Took this off the vintage one, and I wanted to see what it would look like on here, so let's go ahead and do that. We are going to be getting a Canon type of item. It's one of the things that's due out in, I think, December, and I don't know the price on it yet, but I have it pre-ordered. That will be able to be used on here in place of this gun. That's just the vintage one, which is way too small, but it was still fun to just stick it on there and get an idea. It's not gonna look exactly like this, but it's gonna look close enough, and I think it's got like basically some stuff. This will slide into it, one similar to this. I'm not a fan of this, what they did here. These things, I don't want this on mine. They will not be displayed on mine at all. The only reason the whole setup's still on there is because I'm getting it ready to accept the gun. So this part here is not something I want. So it'll go back in the box when I am done. And I really don't want these rests on there either. But it's customizable to a point, so you can get what you want out of it. And so yeah, there it is. All right, so here it is compared to a vintage one. Now this vintage one, I don't have figures in it. Just one hanging off the side. I'm not exactly sure why. It was one I pulled out of my garage. The garage in the actual headquarters display. So I got another one floating around here that's better, that's in better shape, but not sure where I put it, as I've changed a lot of things around in this display room. But there's the size and scale difference, and the difference in color. It's not as bright green, it's more military green. And the difference in aesthetic and shape, like even the front of it, I can show that the front grill is different. They didn't match it exactly, but it's close enough that you get the point of what it's supposed to do and look like. The vintage will never lose it. I say that all the time. It'll never lose its charm, but this one does feel way heftier. It feels like more quality, like a collectible versus an actual toy. This is an actual toy that they've redone like 4 or 5 times, but majorly different, but still similar with an homage. Is that the best way to describe it? I sure hope you're enjoying this video. I hope you're having a whale of a time. Here it is in comparison. I hope shaky cam is okay today, and it's almost as big as a whale, and it's a small vehicle. How big would a whale be? Wow, that's impressive. And it doesn't feel huge. It doesn't feel like it'd be almost the size of a whale. I mean, it's not the size of a whale. Comes up short, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, how big would they make a classified whale? If this is just the tiny little AWE striker, this little guy is that big, the whale would be massive, just massive. And sort of a side-by-side comparison to the Skyhawk. Skyhawk is bigger in a way, but yeah, these are the small vehicles in the vintage line, and they're decent sized vehicles in the 1/12 scale. This is my look at the FansHobby VE-03 ATAC alternate attack carrier. What do I think of it? I think that, well, it's the AWE Striker is one of my favorite vehicles already. It already won by looking very original. They added some lights and did a good job with that. Made it easy for you to get your hands on the batteries. This is probably a little more into a vehicle like this than the average person needs. And saying that not everybody needs the realistic suspension. It's nice. Not everybody needs the gears to shift in the back. Not everybody really needs the lights. Although all of it is nice. And so it's very nice. $130 item here. The standard Hasbro one's like $100. And so with that, Hasbro's going to win. They're in the price area, but this thing is super high quality. They've done a really good job on it. I'm impressed. I know that I can fit both Super 7 Ultimates with it and the classifieds, and same thing with their Skyhawk. So with that, I have a link down below where you can get yours at Shozy. I'm linking also the other component. It's the cannon, and I am disappointed that I couldn't put a cannon on it. I have to get a separate cannon to get it to look super vintage. That's my main disappointment in this. The assembly of it is really nothing, no big deal. And with that, I mean, you have the options. Most people probably won't use this. Most people won't care, but would this have lowered the price if they didn't include it by maybe $1 or $2? So it's not something that, hey, it's $130 because they included that. I'm not going to use these. So it's like you have options. You don't have to use all the options, but you can if you want. Yeah, I did get this to Shozy store. I'm going to link down below where you can get yours and that other thing. Titanium Hanger out.